With the Midsummer Classic now come and gone, it's back to work for a Sox team looking to put a tough first half behind them. And tonight they begin the second season with interleague play against the Atlanta Braves, a team that they have dominated dating back to 2004. Can John Danks keep the NL's best home run hitting team in check? Well, let's find out next. We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Adam Dunn, Alex Rios, Gordon Beckham, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Freddie Gonzalez, first place, Atlanta Braves. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson. As we get set to bring you the first of this 3-game set and the first of this 10-game homestand. It'll be 3 with these guys, 4 with the Tigers, and then 3 with Kansas City. So the Sox now, this is really not the second half because we've already played 92 games. We've got 70 left. But in the last 70 games, what our fans should be looking for?
Well, we know all the bad things that happen, but we've got a couple of bright spots, and it starts with Gordon Beckham coming back off the disabled list and picking it right up where he left it off. And Gordon really is playing good, solid baseball. He's hitting the ball to all fields. He's actually showed a little bit of power. And as you can see, hitting .335 since coming back and starting to heat it up as far as extra base hits and runs batted in. He's been one of the bright spots. We'll look for him. Josh Phegley coming up from the minor leagues has been a revelation, and although that batting average is not great, this is a Grand Slam home run he hit off Anibal Sanchez. That helped win the ball game in Detroit. Then in the 9th inning, he comes through with a base hit that ties the game in Philadelphia. So this is a guy with a flair for the dramatic. He also hustles, and a good young player that you can watch the second half of the season.
And getting the nod for us tonight is another positive feature on our ball club.
Johnny Danks has been terrific, and the last 4 times out, although he doesn't have a whole lot to show for it, he's thrown the ball exceptionally well. Here's a strikeout from each and every one of the performances, and as you can see, with a 1-2 record but an ERA below 3, he's doing just about everything right. And the fact that he's entirely healthy now is certainly cause for celebration, because if Danks is good, it gives us 4 left-handers in the rotation. But this is what he has to deal with, the Atlanta Braves. They hit the ball out of the park. They have come from behind wins. The bullpen ERA is spectacular with Kimbrel at the back end, and overall ERA second in the National League. This is a team that's in first place by 6. They're very good. We got to derail them tonight.
Well, this guy going for them tonight is very good. He has won over 200 games in his career. Tim Hudson will face our Sox for the first time since 2010. We dealt him a lost end, so sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. And by Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. It's a red-hot night, 92 degrees, and let's see how Freddie Gonzalez is going to line up his Braves tonight. Jose Constanza leading it off. Then it's Reed Johnson, Justin Upton, Brian McCann hitting cleanup with Gaddis, Uglett, Johnson, Simmons, and Turdoslavich rounding it out. The defense and how they'll line up behind Johnny Danks. Viciedo, Diaz, and Rios in the outfield with Gillespie, Ramirez, Beckham, and Keppinger in the infield. Josh Beckley with the nod behind the plate. And so they're ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Stevie. Thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over Comcast Sportsnet. So glad you could join us for game one of this 3-game setting, game one of this 10-game homestand. So here is Jose Constanza. 3 for 9 since being called up, and the first pitch of the ball game taken up high. Braves come in hitting at .250 as a club with a 3.29 ERA, but they have 114 home runs. Corners in close, and the count 2-0.
Constanza's got terrific speed, and you have to take the bunt away. He also likes to flick the ball the opposite way, and Viciedo over close to the line and shallow and left.
There's a strike. And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straight away center. And a full count.
There's Freddie Gonzalez. Big shoes to fill. And he's doing a pretty nice job of it.
That ball into center field. Diaz.
Our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Johnny Danks, who's thrown the ball exceptionally well, especially lately. However, not a whole lot to show for it, as he's 2-6, ERA 4.31. This his 11th start of the year. Left-handers hit him better than right-handers, and when that changeup is down and moving away from the right-handers, they have problems.
Reed Johnson hitting at .258 with a homer and 10 knocked in. Takes first pitch strike.
The notables we're not seeing, as important as the guys we are seeing. Freddie Freeman, the All-Star, is not in the lineup. B.J. Upton not in the lineup. Jason Hayward not in the lineup.
You know, this thing has not been just our White Sox, or not just Washington, or just not Atlanta. It's been almost every team in baseball.
And it's affecting the real good players on the team, not just the 24, 25 guys on your roster.
Out of play right side. Yep, I don't think either one of us have ever seen it to this degree.
Now everybody's using a whole lot of their disabled list, and in the case of the Braves, they're using a whole lot of their AAA ball club. Greg Walker, the hitting coach. Everybody around here very familiar with a very talented hitting coach.
He's a good man. He's a terrific man with a terrific family. Carmen, his beautiful wife, she's here. There's that pitch inside.
For the game, they honored Greg Walker here on the Jumbotron. He took a step out, tipped his cap to the crowd, and they showed appreciation for him.
Yep, he's been a big asset to this organization for a long time. And you might see the face right beside him, Scotty Fletcher. Another one of my all-time favorite.
Talk with Scotty before the game. They got a pretty good coaching crew.
Yeah, they do. Got a good manager and a good coaching staff. There's Scotty. I used to love to watch him hit against Dave Steve because they really did not like each other at all.
Well, then he could, if he hit him well, he could hit a sinker and a slider pretty well.
And Steve could hit a rib pretty well.
Probably did that, yes.
He gone. Change up. 2 down.
Before the game, we will show you what the Jumbotron looked like, and then Greg came out, spent a lot of years here as a player and a coach, and the fans acknowledge that and appreciate the effort.
So here is Upton. Justin hitting at .255 with 16 homers and 45 knocked in. This young man's been around a long time. He's just 25 years old. As he looks at first pitch strike.
He got off to a remarkable start this year, but things have cooled off for him. And like most hitters, when he hits to right and right center, he's hitting pretty good, and he is enormously strong.
Yeah, he's got just a terrific approach at the plate. Soft move into the pitch. When we played him out in Arizona, he was just absolutely fun to watch. That ball hit deep into center field, but we got a man there. So 1-2-3 inning for Danks, and after a half inning of play, their guys nothing, and our guys, the good guys, coming to bat.
Piazza leading off, then it's Ramirez, who over the last 31 games has been red hot, with Rios and Dunn, Keppinger, Gillespie, and Viciedo, Beckham, and Fegley rounding it out. The defense, and how they're going to line up behind Tim Hudson. Constanza, Johnson, and Upton in the outfield. Johnson, Simmons, Ugla, and Terdoslavich in the infield. Ryan McCann behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Tim Hudson. This year under 500. However, he's still a pretty tough pitcher with a very good strikeout to walk ratio, allowed only 10 home runs. He's a sinker baller, but that will be put to the test here tonight in a very lively ballpark.
And once again, before we show you our picks to click you at home, select yours. As here's Piazza hitting at .271, 12 homers and 44 knocked in. Corners in close. Hudson right at the top of the charts and being competitive. He will battle you. Soft two-hopper.
The umpires for the game tonight. Jerry Lane, the crew chief behind the plate. Hunter Wendelstedt is at first. Hal Gibson is at second, and Alan Porter is at third. Well, you mentioned how tough and how many games Hudson won. 203 and 111. So over 500 is not difficult for him.
The thing that impressed me when he was in our league, he won 20 games in 2000. But what impressed me the most was him being competitive. And second thing was his sinker. If he missed, he missed down. He kept it down.
And he threw it hard in those days. In the early days of his career, I mean, he wasn't a 96, 97 guy, but he had late sink.
Alexei at 286, a homer. He's driven in 21. Well, he was one of a brace of pitchers in Oakland that were about right at the top of the list with about any three you want to name. When they had Hudson, Mulder, and Zito.
Three outstanding pitchers. A lot of them went the distance. And that's one of the things that made their ball club. You know, they talk a whole lot about on-base percentage, a number of other things. They just put a better man than you had on the mound every day, and they wound up winning a lot of games.
That's right. That was one of the interesting things about the movie Moneyball.
They didn't mention those guys too much.
Not one time.
No. And they weren't important. They just won most every game.
Not one time. Didn't show them and didn't mention them. I think they showed a little quick shot of Hudson one time, and that was it. 1-2 pitch.
I watched Tim Hudson in a game against the Diamondbacks. And I remember it was an exhibition game toward the end of the spring, and I remember watching him and how they approached him when he was behind the hitter. 2-0-3-1. And everybody hit the top of the baseball and fouled it off.
2 down.
I thought to myself that night that this guy is going to be a really good pitcher because in a hitter's count, nobody was able to square it up.
Yeah. No, he was like a bulldog out there. He was persistent, and once he got his teeth into you, he wouldn't let you go.
And a lot of teams didn't draft him because they scouted him as a center fielder, and he was a good one. And they thought he was going to be an everyday player. They thought he was going to be okay. Oakland got him, made him into a pitcher, and, well, the rest is history.
There's ball one to Alex, hitting at 270, 11 homers and 40 knocked in. And there's a little three-hopper, Simmons. And a quick 1-2-3 inning for Hudson. And after one, no score.
And his heroics. He was absolutely brilliant. The National League, well, I'm not sure if they've seen a whole lot of this. And his stuff Tuesday night was as close to unhittable as you can get. It's a nice fielding play. He was the winning pitcher. Chris Sale did himself and the White Sox proud in the All-Star game.
First pitch to Brian McCann. taken for a ball. Well, for me, he was the MVP of the All-Star game, but you could not blame them for going with Rivera.
No, I know.
You know, that's
a lifetime achievement award as much as anything else.
Right, and well deserved.
I was happy that Jim Leland thought ahead enough to pitch him in the 8th inning to make sure that he was going to get in that particular game.
And everybody else was as well.
Yep.
There's the strike, and the count 2-1. McCann hitting at .291, 12 homers and 32 knocked in.
McCann fell into somewhat of a rut because he started to try to pull everything. And a lot like Adam Dunn, he's at his best when he uses left and left center field.
This guy can hit. That's ground ball. And McCann is really the man who knocks in most of the big runs for this ball club.
He had his shoulder operated on in the wintertime and was a little slow getting back. Just starting to feel 100% these days, and he's a good one.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. It's not what he hits, it's when he hits it. So here's Gaddis, Evan Gaddis. 246, 14 homers, 37 knocked in. Very strong.
A few of the Braves mentioned that he actually has the strength to hit one out on the concourse over the stands. He's that kind of strong.
Yeah. Well, his home runs and RBIs lead all National League rookies. But that is what you call an equalizer right there.
I think he's going to have problems with the good Danks changeup.
Like about 98% of the rest of the guys.
And he keeps it down there and keeps it away from the right-handers. They've got some big problems.
Outfield straight up about equidistant. And there's the base hit. So he's going to make the turn and he's going to give it a shot. And here's the throw and he gone. Viciato.
And apparently the Braves don't have a scouting report because Dan Viciato this year keeps gunning him down. They keep on trying him. He doesn't have the normal left fielder's arm. That throw is right on the money. And Gaddis slides about 15 feet from the bag. I'm not sure if he would even have gotten there.
Dan Uggla, very strong second baseman, hitting at 200, 18 homers, 42 knocked in. Well, Gaddis, you can't blame him too much because he thought that was a sure double with Tank moving so hard to his right. But now he does. He understands.
Now he knows what a whole lot of people in the American League know is Viciato racks up his 8th outfield assist.
Uggla with a 2-1 count.
Uggla tries to pull just about everything. And he's got some big power also.
Sucked up by Gillespie. Ball hit hard. So that'll do it. After an inning and a half, it is still 0-0.
In the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
And right now, let's check out our Farmers Insurance picks to click tonight. Tim Angio, our director in the crew, went with Alex. He's going with Dunn. And Gianna Francesca Casson, 10 years old today, son of Eddie and Julie. Gianna and I, we're going to go with Beckham. Happy birthday, honey. First pitch to Dunn. Off the end of the bat, slowly hit, up the middle. And they get it.
Looked like he might have bobbled that ball at first for a second.
So, Tadaslovich makes the play.
Chris Johnson going across the middle.
Chris Johnson.
He doesn't have near the range as Simmons, but in the shift, he holds on to it.
So here's Keppinger, hitting at 246, couple homers. He's driven in 25. He's 9 for 17 lifetime off Hudson as he takes first pitch strike.
Bad sign is that everybody's hitting the ball on the ground, because that means that Hudson's sinker is working well.
Also on the birthday note a couple days ago, our bullpen coach, Bobby Thigpen, turned 50. There's a shot caught. So Uglum makes a nice timing leap. 2 down. Hang Wolfham.
Dan Uggla, not known for his dexterity at second base, but he got in the way of that one. There's Bobby Thigpen.
Hard to believe.
At the ripe old age of 50.
Boy, he's in great shape, I'll tell you. And it's hard to believe. I remember Bobby when he was just a rookie.
Well, you remember him having one of the best years a closer could have.
Oh, boy. There's another competitor.
Good
Bobby.
one, huh?
Oh. Seen him go out there with nothing and get the job done. Because they worked him quite a bit, especially when he was going for the record, and he got it. Here's Gillespie. We've had some pitchers like that. Jack McDowell. Seen Jack go out to that bump like Jack when he couldn't hardly walk in between starts. First thing you know, 7th inning, it's a 1-run ball game.
Yeah, those 4 number 1 draft picks in a row will stand as something maybe will never be done again. Frank Thomas, Robin Ventura, Jack McDowell.
It's going to get down for a base hit. So you can cancel the post-game show. And here's Viciedo. Tank hitting at 246, 7 homers, 28 driven in.
He's bringing that batting average up a bit because he is using the whole field.
Short lead as he takes downstairs. 90 degrees as we speak here at 7:33.
Last 6 games, Viciedo has been red hot.
Tadaslovich with a little bit of a pick there. Outfield straight up and spread out. Over for the force, and that'll retire the side. We've completed 2 scoreless.
Outside as the White Sox look to take down the Central Division leaders from Detroit. Don't miss Sox Tigers Tuesday night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet.
No score, top of the third. It'll be Johnson, Simmons, and Trdoslovic. Joy Trdoslovic. Simmons hitting at .330. 6 homers. He's knocked in 31. .276 career hitter. Outfield straight up. Count evens at 1.
Johnson's been a pretty good hitter, and he's used the whole field. The defense has lagged behind a touch as he exits some games late for defensive purposes, but he's been a big offensive force for them. A team with a whole lot of offensive injuries.
There's a bullet. So the leadoff single.
This ball on the inner portion, it's a fastball. And Johnson just drills it. And John wanted to get it in a little bit further than he did, but wasn't able to.
So here's Simmons, the shortstop. Andrelton hitting it. .243, 8 homers. He's driven in 30.
He's from Curacao originally, and he's described as having the best arm on the staff, including all of the pitchers. He threw 97 miles an hour as a pitcher, and they said, son, you play shortstop too well. Can't have you on the mound when you can cover all the range that you can cover. So when we get a chance to see him throw, you'll see a guy that's unveiling perhaps the best arm in the game from shortstop.
That's very, very unusual when you find a position player who can throw harder than your pitchers.
97.
Very seldom.
Yep.
I mean, I don't care who it was. Some of the greatest arms we've ever seen in the outfield could not throw 97
Nope.
from the mound. One and one to count. He's just 23 years old. Last year hit .289, 3 homers, and dove in 19 in limited service. Two and one.
The Braves have done a great job. Andrew Jones, also from Curacao. Simmons from there. We've had a couple of other players historically from there. You look at Freddie Gonzalez in his 3rd year of managing this team.
That ball is absolutely crushed. And it is 2-0.
That's what the Braves do. They hit the ball out of the ballpark. That's number 9. Simmons is driven in 32. And that one hit off the screening of the pole. Our Ford home run replay. John tried to cut that ball in on his hands, and Andrelton Simmons shows you just how strong he is.
Hey, you're talking about Freddie Gonzalez. Now in his 3rd season as manager. Since he came aboard, he has led the Braves to the National League's best overall record of 237-182. So he is indeed getting the job done.
And taking over from Bobby Cox, I wouldn't assume it's the most comfortable thing in the world, seeing as he's replacing a legend.
I think Bobby was the one who probably handpicked him.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
There is no doubt.
There's a strike. Yeah, when you take John Schuerholz and Bobby Cox, arguably the greatest tandem in baseball history. 14 consecutive divisional titles, or certainly since divisional play came on the scene. As that ball hit deep into center field. But Just a long out. One down.
Josh Fegley going out to talk with Johnny Danks about location.
Yeah, he can't be throwing his fastball unless he's in the count situation where he's got to throw a strike, 3-0, something. He can't be throwing his fastball for strikes. It's got to be up on top of the zone, or off the plate away, or off the plate in. Because if he throws his fastball for strikes, he's going to get hit hard.
Yeah, especially tonight. That fastball's been 89, and he's using the middle of the plate or middle in. These guys are too strong hitters to get away with that.
So here's Constanza. Jose went out to Alejandro. Takes first pitch strike. Outfield short, swung well around to the left. Johnny has got to, as count 0-2. Johnny has got to use his fastball as a show-me pitch, or as I mentioned, a strikeout pitch when he's well ahead in the count, up out of the zone.
He's been doing that a whole lot.
Been pitching terrific.
That higher-than-high fastball has been very effective for him and a few others on the staff.
Chopper, 2 hopper. So 2 out. And a reminder, if you want a terrific White Sox experience, check out the Comcast Fundamentals deck at U.S. Cellular Field. You can interact with the White Sox trainers, run the bases at the wiffle ball diamond, and test your swing at the batting cages. So catch all the action with Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Call 1-800-XFINITY to learn more. This is Reed Johnson, struck out on a good changeup. That's just a hard hit foul ball for a strike. Reed's always been a fun guy to watch play.
He's a guy that's made most of his career as a utility player and still very valuable because he can play all 3 outfield positions and give you a good at bat each and every at bat.
Boy, he had that little stint with the Cubs there. Well, last year he hit 302 in his time with the Cubs, but he had that little stint a few years ago where some of the catches he made were, I mean, almost unbelievable.
The sliding on the warning track into the wall.
Yeah,
catches.
you remember that? Yeah. I mean, hard into the wall. Checks it up. Takes the ball.
Braves acquired Johnson last year to give them some versatility and give him a guy that understands how to play off the bench.
Not bad in that clubhouse either, from what I hear. That ball hit hard.
Well, he's really helping Joey Turdoslavich. I talked to Joey. He was playing first base tonight, but plays the outfield. I said, "How are you taking to this?" He goes, "Well," he goes, "being a utility player is difficult if you're a young player." He said, "But he's been talking to Reed Johnson, who's explaining to him how to play off the bench."
Jams himself right there, pops it up, and that'll do it. But the single by Johnson, the home run by Simmons, it is 2-0 Braves.
the wife of Gavin Floyd, and she's here for a very special reason. We'll get an update on Gavin, but you're here for the food drive,
yes.
The Wives Food Drive, and tell us a little bit about it.
Absolutely. Well, Saturday, July 20th, the White Sox Wives will host the 15th annual food drive. And this is presented by Dominic's. And the food drive is really important because it supplies the food for the Greater Chicago Food Depository, which definitely helps, the local neighborhoods that are around us.
Well, to learn more about the Greater Chicago Food Depository, you can visit chicagosfoodbank.org.
Yes. And I wanted to mention, too, that tomorrow before the game, fans can bring shelf-stable food items as well as cash donations to the ballpark gates up until the 4th inning. And fans who make a donation of $5 or more will receive a reusable grocery bag courtesy of Dominic's. So we're doing this because 1 in 6 people do not have food. They're food insecure. And so by doing this, every dollar that's raised can provide 3 meals for someone who doesn't know where their next meal is coming from. So it's really important.
Well, it's the 15th annual, and you guys do just a great job of it. Every dollar donated provides 3 meals for one of our neighbors in need, which is obviously a very good thing, and certainly the wives should be applauded for this. But tell us a little bit about Gavin and how he's doing in the rehab.
Absolutely. Gavin is doing so well. I know that I went with him to his first month appointment with Dr. Alchek, and Dr. Alchek was just blown away at how fast and how well that his elbow was recovering. He actually has more extension with his right elbow, which is a surgery elbow, than he does his left that didn't have surgery. So he's just really, really doing exceedingly well.
Well, thanks for the update. We wish Gavin a whole lot of luck. And again, it's the White Sox Wives annual food drive, and it's during the game Saturday, July 20th.
Correct. Thanks, Steve.
So that, folks, is tomorrow. Come to the ballpark and help them out. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Take care.
There's a chopper. There's the force, and can't get it. Good job, Leanna.
Ugla thought he might have had a shot at it. Simmons gets him the ball pretty quickly. Good solid feed, and Ugla up and over, but well wide of first base.
So the leadoff single by Beckham. Sully's happy. And then the fielder's choice. So here's Alejandro. Outfield straight up, spread out. And I want to thank Sully, who's Gordon's mom, for those cheese straws. And they will be gone by tomorrow night. Nico and Alexander will take care of that tin of cheese straws. They are delicious. Two grandsons. Hudson with a good move to first base. Well, Hudson's, he's right out of that Jake Peavy category. These two guys get out there and they battle you and they battle you and they battle you. They're competitive. They got good moves to first. Both of them pretty good hitters. As you say, the numbers you read off in his college career were just
he was
surreal.
He was something. And he can field his position exceptionally well.
Like Jake, yeah.
Yeah, which, if you're going to be a sinker baller, and both of these guys are sinker ballers, then you have to be able to field, because if you keep the ball away, in this case from a left-hander, if he hits it, he's going to come right back to you.
Well, being a sinker baller like that, you either learn how to field or you get bruised up a little bit.
And that was a secret for years for Greg Maddux, a perennial Gold Glove winner, who threw sinker after sinker, changeup. A lot of guys hit it right back to him, but he squared off his follow-through and couldn't get the ball by him. It normally is the biggest hole in the infield, and if the pitcher can cover it and be the fifth infielder when he releases the baseball, then he's going to be in pretty good shape.
Breaking ball strike.
Last 6, Alejandro has been very good. and has been surprising all year with the runs batted in and the home runs from the one spot.
So you could not check it up, and that's out number 2.
Let's take a look at that play at second base, and you'll see what a second baseman has to do to make sure he doesn't get a broken leg. Gordon comes in hard but clean. Now watch Ugla. That front foot comes off the ground. Back foot is already off the ground. If you let the front foot come off the ground, you'll take the contact, but you're not going to take the brunt of it. If you plant that front foot and don't go off the ground, you're risking a very serious, usually season-ending injury.
Here's Alexei. Takes the first pitch strike. He struck out. Well, it's almost like a choreographed move.
Yeah, they look like almost ballerinas as they go up over the top.
And if you don't do it, if you do it as the way Steve described, you don't, then you got a problem.
We'll look at it one more time. Everybody does it right on this part of it, but the throw goes off the mark at first base, and there is no double play.
And there's a base hit. So, 2 out, 2 on. And that'll bring up Rios.
That fastball inside, it's actually almost off the plate. But Alexei able to pull the hands in, get the good part of the bat on the ball. Now, our boys are going to be able to run on Constanza in left field. He's got a decent arm, not all that good. And Joe McEwing, if he gets a shot, is going to try to score.
So Alexei now with an 8-game hitting streak, and here is Rios, who grounded out to short. That ball hit hard. Slice! Slice! It will. Thank you very much. So they're going to wave Alexei around. Here's the throw of the play. Save! This game is tied at 2. Double by Rios.
RBIs 41 and 42 as he slices this ball away from Reed Johnson. Johnson knows he has to get the cutoff throw in. He gets it into Simmons, who puts it right on the button. But right behind the tag, Alexei with a tremendous slide. The left hand on the plate before the tag, and Jerry Lane right on the call. And just like that, it's a brand new ball game.
And here is Adam. Adam, a little south ground ball that Chris Johnson, the third baseman, caught at the shortstop position and threw him out. Breaking ball strike.
But we've seen it a lot this year, and now the Braves have seen it. They gave us the extra out this inning and not completing the double play. Came back to haunt him. Nice to see it from this end instead of the other end.
Yes, it is. We've seen enough of that to last for the rest of the year. But if you're just tuning in, first of a 10-game homestand. 3 with these guys, 4 with the Tigers, and 3 with Kansas City.
Adam doesn't mind seeing Tim Hudson. Even though, once again, they put on the radical shift against him.
And another strike. Little spinner. 2 out, 1-2 the count. 1-2. The ball hit hard, fair. Look at the play by Trdaslovic. Mercy. You're talking about a big league play. You just saw it right there. But we come up with a pair. We'll go to the fourth. Tied at 2.
Locos Tacos from Taco Bell. Live Mas.
It is Justin Upton who went out to center field his first trip. A 2-2 tie here in the top of the fourth. Little breaking ball right there. The curve backdoored him. Turns it over. Almost like a screwball. Misses well outside.
Somewhat hard to believe, but Justin's brother BJ was signed as a free agent from Tampa Bay. 5-year contract, $75 million. With all the stars Atlanta had, he's got the highest contract ever from the Atlanta Braves. The highest contract ever.
That's amazing.
$15 million a year. And he's hurt now. This was a team that they thought was going to have the best defense in the league because of the addition of a Gold Glove caliber center fielder.
Well, one of my all-time favorite players retired this year.
Has to be number 10.
That's it.
Chipper Jones.
Boy, I tell you what, I used to love to watch. I watched every time I had an opportunity to watch Atlanta play. There's Alexei. And you know, I don't follow the National League that close at all, but every time I had a chance to watch Chipper Jones play, I watched.
Time now for our lows. Never Stop Improving flashback. It's June 28th. The number 10 retired for one of the great Braves of all time. He was a leader.
And you talking about clutch?
Look at these numbers.
Yeah, but again, he's one of those guys that's not what he hit, it's when he hit it. Get over there. 2 down.
Almost 2,500 games. Stole 150. The runs batted in over 1,600. 468 home runs. One of the most powerful switch hitters in the history of this game. And ended with that batting average up over 300. Plus, he was the leader in the field for the Braves during his time. They had some great pitchers, certainly. Chipper Jones was the leader of the everyday players for years and years.
Well, you take Mantle, you take Murray, put Jones right in there.
Yeah.
Here's Evan Gaddis. Hit a hard single in the left field, tried to stretch it into a double, and he just got thrown out easily by a gun. Hanging on the right side of Tank.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and it's Evan Gaddis. Not overly fast. And unfortunately, he picks the wrong guy to run out. He gets a face full of mitt for his efforts.
Two out. 1-1 pitch. Just got a piece up. Change up. Yeah, you've taken the last 25 years. We've had some good clutch hitters. Harold Baines was really a good clutch hitter. George Brett, really a good clutch hitter.
George was no day at the beach early in the game either.
Robin Ventura was a very good clutch hitter. Frank Thomas. But all those guys, I'll tell you what. As he gone. 1-2-3 inning. And we are tied after 3.5. Using hashtag White Sox Talk, and we'll read one back later in the game, and it might be yours. Just might be yours. Two 3-0 for their guys, 2-4-0 for our guys. It'll be Keppinger, Gillespie, and Viciedo. Keppinger 0 for 1, hit a line shot that Ugla made a very fine timing jump and caught it. Takes that pitch inside.
Chris Johnson is playing right on the line because of the tendency for right-hand hitter to pull the ball against Hudson. He does throw a splitter and a changeup to go with that sinker. That's the first curveball we've seen from him, but he has that also. So Keppinger has been hitting the ball very well lately after a terribly slow start. A nice article in the paper in the Sun-Times about him this morning.
There's a jam job. Now he just absolutely tattooed one his first at bat. Gets jammed there and gets the hit. More importantly, leadoff man aboard.
Throws that fastball, tries to get it inside. It's not inside quite enough, as you see on pitch tracks. So as we tell you hitters all the time, it evens out. Line drive's caught, you get a broken bat single. It doesn't even out, huh?
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
That's what I was saying. As here's Gillespie, he just ripped a single in the right field. So So Hudson, breaking ball misses. .38-year-old veteran, Tim Hudson. Gotta hurry. Corner. Nope. 2 down.
Uga does a pretty good job, but then it's a very strong arm of Simmons. He gets the throw right there. Keppinger does everything he can to disrupt it, but he couldn't get to him. He pushed himself far enough off the bag where if you do get a piece of him, it's going to be interference.
Well, that's where the strong arms really, over the course of 162, pay off. Here's Tank. Tank hit into a 6'4" fielder's choice. Beckham for us, Lex 8. Simmons for those guys. Turned a lot of double plays that are not going to be turned by most teams. Lays off that breaking ball.
Last couple of years under Freddie Gonzalez, they had the best and the second best defense in 2 consecutive years. This year, the defense is down somewhat, and that's largely due to the injuries. This team's second in the league in pitching behind Pittsburgh. Middle of the pack offensively, although they do hit the ball out of the ballpark better than anybody in the National League. And fielding, well, they're 6th in fielding.
And that's unusual. Although he has walked a lot this year. In the past, he did not walk many guys. So the 2-out walk. And here's Beckham. He just shot a single right back through the middle. But Roger McDowell, their pitching coach, and he was fun to watch pitch.
Well, I know I saw you talking with him. He's a character.
Yeah, he is great.
He is really a great character, and he's in his 8th year. Roger's done a terrific job, and he's very proud of the fact that they've used the same 5 starters all year long, and they only use a 6th starter for 1 doubleheader.
That's out of play right side.
You don't see that very much.
Well, we just had, was it the Phillies we just played that had already used 12 starters this year?
Yes. There's a look at Rogers sitting next to the skipper, Freddie Gonzalez. Roger had a great sinker, and he said that he credited arm surgery. They never had a sinker until he had elbow surgery, and then all of a sudden he came back with a sinker. It used to drop seemingly a foot.
Yeah, he had one of the better ones around. 1-1 to count to Gordon. That breaking ball popped up into right field. Upton. And that'll retire the side. We're into the 5th, tied at 2. Game live only at csnchicago.com. Brought to you by Comcast Business Class.
A lot of you might not know the fact that Dan Uggla 5 times has hit 30 or more home runs. Last year, a down year. Power-wise, only 19 home runs. He's got 18 to this point. But he's a guy perennially that hits the ball out of the ballpark.
He grounded out to Gillespie. And he just missed that one. High, towering drive. That's 1/32 of an inch from being 3/4 of the way up those bleachers out there. And you can bring your family to the ballpark for our all-new Family Sundays, presented by the University of Chicago Medicine Comer Children's Hospital. Tickets start as low as $5. Parking is just $10. July 28th, former Sox slugger Greg Luzinski, the Bulls, will be on the concourse from 11:30 to 12, signing autographs for all fans. And the White Sox and Comer Children's Hospital teaming up to promote a healthy lifestyle and combat childhood obesity. So whitesox.com or 866-SOX-GAME for tickets. There's a strike. Chris Johnson out of Naples, Florida, now resides in Scottsdale. Went to Stetson. 1 for 1. A hard single in the left field.
John's got that fastball up to 92 miles an hour tonight. Now doing a little better job of spotting it.
Yeah, he's back physically.
And well ahead of time, because he wasn't supposed to get to 100% until August. That was a year away from the surgery. He came back early, didn't have the velocity. Now he's got all the velocity back, and with it, the changeup is much better because of the disparity between the two.
Full count to Johnson. Rolls over on that one. Johnson, 28 years old.
Providing the Braves with a whole lot of offense.
That changeup, he just did get a piece of it.
Still 90 degrees, so a very easy night to get loose. And very much the liking of these Braves, who have this kind of weather just about each and every day.
That's fair. And that's out number 2.
Well, last night, at 6 o'clock, you had a special done by the MLB station. They do unbelievable things anyway. But how was your reaction to it?
Well, Bruce Kornblatt and his staff, they did I thought, a really good job. I mean, had my family there and some friends, and we watched it, and I thought it was good. My wife thought it was good, and that's really something.
Because you can't fool her?
No. She's a Greek. Can't fool her. But, and Costas did, of course, as usual, job in narrating it. So I was flattered by it, really. And I've been getting phone calls, Stevie, today from people I haven't talked to in 20, 25 years.
And they're going to replay it on Monday?
That's what I heard. Yeah, they're going to replay it on Monday.
So if you didn't have a chance last night, you can see it again on the MLB channel on Monday night.
That ball into left field. We got a man there. And that's a nice 1-2-3 inning. We're halfway home, tied at 2.
The fact that he is there and working,
Yeah.
and able to take questions, it's remarkable.
Yeah. And here's Josh. Fagley hit into a 6-4 fielder's choice and then scored on the 2-run double by Rios. Curveball strike.
What do you think of Josh so far as his hitting approach?
Well, you know how I felt about him. I have liked Josh for a while. I liked him before he had that blood.
Right. Platelet disorder.
Platelet, yeah. And now, knock on wood, he's completely over that. I like our two guys there. Yes, can't get that one. Josh is 25. Tyler's 27. And besides that, we got a couple more good-looking catchers down on the farm.
Well, if you can raise a number of good catchers, you can move them for a whole lot of things because they're very valuable these days.
That's exactly right. As he just ate him up right there. Johnson with a nice little move, like a David Wright move right there. 1 out. But yeah, Josh is. We talked about him this spring. He got a chance to be a good one.
I like the fact that he uses the whole field. His first base hit and run batted in was to right field. The game tying double in Philadelphia was to right field. His home runs have come to left field. So it's hard to defense him any one way.
Piazza with a bunt. Oh, yeah. Stick that one in your pocket because he knew it was going to stay fair. So he did his homework prior to the game.
He caught Johnson back and took advantage of it. This is a perfect bunt anyway, but it helps if the guy is not in on the grass. Piazza lays it down. And even with a pulled-in third baseman, that ball was going to stay fair all the way. Johnson had no play.
So here's Alexei. A lot of those texts that I got today about the show last evening, well, people hadn't seen. Is that ball hit hard in the gap? We will not get that one, so Piazza makes the turn. Alexei will pull up with a single. So 1 out. Runners at the corners. Let's take advantage of it. And that'll bring up Alex.
Look, I know that they tape for 7 hours, so obviously when you boil that down, not everything is going to get in. What's the most important story you think you told that was left out?
The Jackie Robinson, having the opportunity to play golf with Jackie back in the early 60s. We were at the baseball players tournament in Miami Springs, and I'm taking out my clubs and putting my shoes on in the parking lot. He comes walking up and he introduces himself. I knew obviously who he was. He said, Hawk, he said, I'm not a very good player. He said, I know you are. He said, but could I play golf with you today? And I said, Jackie, I would be absolutely honored. This is one of the most enjoyable rounds of golf I've ever had. We talked, we laughed. Now, we didn't get into a lot of the things that Jackie went through.
Sure.
Okay. I could see he wanted to stay away, but we were on a lighter side, and it was just a real joy. No, you bobbled! Hurry!
Alex didn't run. Simple as that.
So we can't score. We're into the 6th. Tied at 2. top of the 6th inning. But getting back to Jackie Robinson, Branch Rickey was the one who made the decision, and he definitely picked the right guy. It was one of those things. But the biggest question I was getting today on the text and everything else was, who was wearing the Nehru? Was that Ken or was that Hawk? And I told him, I said, that was Hawk. I wouldn't wear one, but he did. So it's ball 1. Turdaslovic.
When he was talking with Reed Johnson, he was asking him about how to prepare when you don't play every day. How can you stay sharp? What should you do on the bench in preparation for when you do play? And Reed has been helping him out quite a bit.
There's the strike.
He hit the ball hard first time up.
Deep into center field. But he absolutely saved a run with that brilliant play he made. At first base off Adam Dunn, that's one of the best plays we've seen all year from a first baseman.
That ball was hit with a lot of topspin. It was a rocket down the line. Should have been a double. It wasn't, because of the man you're looking at bat.
And there is the leadoff hit.
Now, Constanza is a good bunter. And because he's not the best hitter around in limited action, you would think that Gonzalez would be having him bunt here with the heart of the order coming up.
And first base coach Terry Pendleton, there's another guy that was underneath the radar as far as clutch hitting.
He won the MVP when he played with the Braves. Hit .322. His 8th year as a coach.
Boy, he was a good player. There's a bunt. Popped it up. See, he had to catch that one because Constanza was running. If he stops, he could have let that ball hit the ground and got a double play. But when a guy's running, you got to catch it.
Very bad bunt because he dropped the head of the bat. You can see it there. If you drop the head of the bat, the ball is going to be popped straight up. And John fields it and gets the quick out.
So here is Reed Johnson, a strikeout and a pop up into center field. I'll bet you if you ask 100% of the pitchers in baseball about that rule right there, at least 30 to 40% don't know it. That's out of play right side.
I don't doubt that for a minute.
And once again, that rule is, explain, you were a pitcher.
Well, Johnny could have let the ball drop.
Right.
And then made the play, but that presupposes that the guy is not going to run to first base.
That's key.
If the guy is running, then you have a problem because you never know where the ball is going to bounce. So you might as well just catch it.
Right. The runner is afforded protection on a swing. He is not afforded protection on a bunt. 0-2 the count.
Infield about halfway. They're looking for 2.
He gone. He knew it.
He was walking away well before Jerry Lane called the pitch. Reed Johnson just gets outguessed.
As I said, I've always enjoyed watching him play. He plays hard. He can laugh at himself.
Well, here he goes. He's just going to take the walk. Not even going to wait for Jerry Lane.
So here's Upton. He has gone out to center and he's grounded to short. Takes low ball 1.
Now he's looking over to see if his bat is cracked, and apparently it is. hopefully that won't benefit him. Because with those pre-cracked bats, it's tough to hit the ball out of the park.
Boy, there's another story right there that's absolutely unbelievable. Ron Fairley, there's a base hit into left field. Former outfielder, first baseman for the Dodgers, who was really, really a good player, was talking with Hank Aaron one night at dinner, and they were talking about how heavy a bats in general, the whole thing. So Fairley asked him, says, Hammer, he says, how many bats a year did you average breaking? He says, never broken a bat in a game.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. He said, I've broken them in batting practice, but never in a game.
If he was using the maple bats of today,
it would be impossible.
Wouldn't make it 3 games.
No, it's because the way he squared it up, the way Bad Henry squared it up, you can hit the maple bat right on the button and explode it.
80 pitch marks for Johnny Danks. Not a particularly high total here in the 6th.
That's a wild pitch. So both runners will advance.
Little cutter off the shin guard of Fegley for Johnny Danks, just his 2nd wild pitch of the year.
So Brian McCann, he is a good clutch hitter. Ducks on the pond, 2 out, and that's out of play for a 1-2 count. Boy, when you have, as a hitter, when you have shoulder surgery or sometimes wrist surgery, it takes a while to get back.
And McMahon still is not as devastating a hitter as he will be as he gets further away from the surgery. Here's our AT&T UVerse Multiview. Got the 2 base runners. Decent speed on the base path.
And that's foul. Well, the most graphic illustration of a shoulder injury was a former teammate of mine, and that was Ray Fosse.
Well, that didn't end his career immediately, but it sure took away a lot of his effectiveness after Pete Rose banged into him at the All-Star game.
He had tremendous power to all fields, and after the shoulder injury, he had decent power to left center. As I mentioned, the funny thing about that was they had dinner the night before.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah. Ooh, Johnny got away with one right there.
That was a changeup. It was up in the eyes of McCann. Unfortunately, he fouled it off. Offensively, this has been the challenge for Greg Walker with McCann, because McCann's been rolling over on a lot of pitches and pulling most everything, and a lot of it winds up on the ground. It's trying him to stay on it and drive it the other way.
Pretty good job of protecting right there by Brian. Yeah, those shoulder injuries and wrist injuries are tough.
Brian was an all-star, did not get in the game, but I talked to him before the game. He was just ecstatic to be there.
And that is in foul territory, and Tank, watch out. Just out of reach. Sox fans tomorrow, the first 10,000 children, 13 and under, will receive a White Sox replica batting helmet presented by all the good folks at Xfinity. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. That's tomorrow, first 10,000 children, 13 and under. That batting helmet, a replica. Two on, two out. And once again, the 2-2 pitch. It's full. With Evan Gattis on deck. $25,613.
And a pretty good battle going on between McCann and Danks. The 11th pitch of the at-bat coming up.
That ball hit hard. And it's a 5-2 Atlanta lead. He got a cookie and didn't miss that one.
Well, you've been saying it for as long as I can remember. The more pitches you see, the more dangerous you are. And in that protracted at bat, McCann saw everything that Johnny had. And then took it out. Our forward home run replay is number 13 for McCann. He's now driven in 35 and given his ball club a 3-run lead. So Rios runs out of room as that one disappears.
Well, that is so true. The more pitches you see, the more dangerous you become. And where the danger really comes into play is when you make a mistake.
He did that.
Yeah, if you've seen 11 pitches and all of a sudden you make a real good pitch on him, you're probably going to get him, even though he's seen 11 pitches. But if you make a mistake because he's seen so many and he's in a swing mode.
And that was right there. It was a little above the thigh on the inner portion of the plate.
Well, that's what he does, McCann. He knocks in big runs for this club. But the 3-run homer, and we'll go to the bottom of the 6th, trailing by 3. During the season and receive savings off the individual game ticket price. You can enhance your outing by upgrading to our new Miller Lite bullpen party porch, or pregame patio party, or diamond suite, or one of our other great party areas. So 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. And it is a domain of the Bertucci boys, Bobby, Bruno, and Handsome Anthony. All right, Steve. Been pitching in 90-degree weather. It's the bottom of the 6th inning. You're tied at 2. Last couple of innings, he struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
What did that 3-run homer do for his adrenaline?
Well, he's got the lead now for the second time in the game. And as big a competitor as he is, I would think what's going through his mind is, I know I got a pretty good bullpen out there. So I'm going to give it the best I can now that I have the lead.
But it does change his mental posture.
There is no doubt that right now he's a different pitcher than walked off last inning. He caught a big break last inning, not giving up the lead. And now he's got to go through the middle of the order. 3 guys who have swung the bat very well against him as you look at his line.
Adam was robbed of extra bases and an RBI on a brilliant play, a spectacular play by Terdaslovich at first. Full count. You know, when we used to be in a game like this where you tied, you get to the 5th or 6th on a very hot day or a hot night in this particular instance, and you got a guy out there on the mound who's a terrific competitor as he gets him for out number 1. Say a Mel Stottlemyre, Dave McNally, one of those guys, you know, really good competitors. And that would same scenario happen. Somebody hit a 3-run homer. We would come back in the dugout and say, "Okay, boys, we know how this guy is. We just got to outcompete him now." Well, trying to say something positive,
yeah,
you know, to stay positive rather than, "Oh, well, we're down 3." Because you get those good ones out there and they get that shot of adrenaline like he just got, and they can be absolutely double tough.
Well, that last sinker was 91 on the outside corner. That's as good a pitch as he's made tonight.
Kevinger is lined hard to second and then had a soft single leading off the 4th. Off the end of the bat on a breaking ball. Two down. And a reminder, Saturday, July 27th, come see our Sox take on Kansas City at 6:10. All fans are invited to stay for a post-game fireworks show presented by Magellan Corporation. A post-game fireworks show presented by Magellan Corporation. So purchase tickets today by visiting WhiteSox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. And also, congratulations to White Sox fans Matt and Megan Banovic on the birth of their beautiful daughter, Michael Ann Margaret, born yesterday. And she's already cheering our Sox on tonight, but we need some help. Gillespie fouls it back. He's 1 for 2. He's singled hard into right field, and then hit into a 4-6-3 double play.
66 pitches. There's no doubt that Hudson has a whole lot left.
Chopper. Simmons. So he has a 1-2-3 inning after getting that 3-run lead.
Sox Postgame Live presented by Orland Park Nissan. Chuck Garfien and Bill Melton bring you their take on the game and check in on action around both leagues. White Sox Postgame Live tonight, right after the game on Comcast Sportsnet.
Top of the 7th. As you look at the City Beautiful. Ugla, Johnson, Simmons. First pitch fastball strike. Ugla is grounded to third, then leading off the 5th. He just missed, hitting one way out of here. Just underneath it. Good breaking ball. And the count 0-2. Ugla came in with 18 homers and 42 knocked in. That's a hard 200 he's hitting.
He used to be a pretty decent average hitter. Last year he hit 220. For Atlanta in 2011 hit 233. But for Florida in 2010 he hit 287. That was his lifetime high water mark.
He gone. Good changeup right there from JD.
Kept that ball down, moving away from Ugla. And Nate Jones throwing in the pen as John closing in on the 100 mark. It's still 88 degrees as we come upon 8:45 in Chicago, so plenty of humidity, plenty of heat. And that's one of the reasons why Nate is getting loosened up, and it won't take long with these conditions.
Chris Johnson takes strike one. He's 1 for 2, a single leading off the 3rd, and scored ahead of Simmons. Home run off the foul pole down the left field line.
John has really been bitten by the long ball this year. He's given up 14 home runs in 69 innings.
Took a little something off that, had him way out in front.
And every home run tonight has provided all the runs. 2-run homer, a 3-run homer, and Atlanta playing very much like our team when things are going well. We score via the home run a lot.
Well, the first guy that I talked to about that situation in spring training this year was Jake Peavy. Jake's got a good baseball acumen, good baseball mind. And we were talking about our offense, and he said, Hawk, he said, if we don't hit home runs, we're not going to win much.
Well, he's right about that if you look at the numbers.
Yeah. That can be a most valuable asset to a hitter, especially a young hitter. As you see, he was reinstated from the disabled list. There it is. But I'll tell you, young hitters can learn a lot by talking to smart pitchers. I mean, a bunch.
Well, unfortunately, I think hitters have a tendency, the young hitters will talk with the hitters, young pitchers will talk with the pitchers. Very rarely will they mix and go and say, in a case of a young hitter to Jake, how would you pitch me?
Well, if I was a young hitter playing with you, I would say, Steve, how are you going to get me out? Are you going to, as you just flared out there in the right field, are you just going to show me the fastball and then try to get me out with a curve? You tell me how you're going to try to get me out. And then I'd listen to you. Yeah. You know?
Well, it gives you an idea, especially if the pitcher is a veteran pitcher. It gives you an idea about how they're going to attack you. And also, the longer you're in this game, the more scouting reports they have on you, the more soft spots they'll find, and then the more you'll have to adjust because it's on every advanced scout's report.
One of the biggest favors that a veteran pitcher did for me. We were roommates in Kansas City. It was Ralph Terry, former 20-game winner with the Yankees. And I asked him one night, I was in a funk, as usual. There's a chopper. Take your time, boys, and rack them up. 7th inning stretch. We got a problem. For them, 2-7-0 for us. It'll be lower third of our order. Tank, Beckham, and Fegley. But getting back to Ralph Terry, we were talking one night. I said, Moss, I called him Moss because he had long hair. I said, Moss, I said, that's back up the middle. First pitch. 1 pitch, 1 out. I said, how would you go about getting me out? He said, Hawk, you'd be easy. And he was not overpowering. He had a real good curveball. He said, you'd be easy. I said, well, tell me how you'd get me out. He said, well, first pitch, I would show you a fastball 5 or 6 inches in off the plate. He said, I would never let you beat me on a fastball, and yet I would get you out with a fastball.
Oh, you just throw, and I think pitching inside is throwing in off the plate, where a lot of guys today think pitching inside is throwing inside for strikes.
Exactly, and it's not.
Those get hit hard.
Yeah, they do. I didn't understand what he was talking about. I said, what are you talking about? You wouldn't let me beat you on a fastball, but you'd get me out on a fastball. He said it wouldn't be a strike. He said it'd be up out of the zone. Beckham, he's 1 for 2.
And since the booming bats of the Braves have handed Hudson the lead, he's thrown 4 straight ground balls.
Yeah, he looks like he's just starting the game out.
Well, he's at the 70 pitch mark. He's got 1 out, and we're in the bottom of the 7th. So he's done it economically, and he's done it efficiently, and he's still doing it well.
3-1. Out and around that one, so it's full count. Start us off right here with 1 out, Gordon. Payoff. Look at this. Nice play. Look at the gun. You're right. He's got a hose.
And how about how quickly he got up?
Yeah.
This guy diving to his left, gets up, almost immediately. You don't even notice he was on the ground. Beckham bidding for his second hit. Simmons gets there, pushes himself up with his throwing hand, and then fires a strike to first base. He's got Gordon by plenty.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
He makes that play look very easy.
Here's Fegley. Josh is 0 for 2. Has scored a run. Takes ball 1. Count evens.
The Braves have 2 of their best on the disabled list out of their bullpen, O'Flaherty and Venters. They're still pretty good down there, and we most likely will see them, especially Kimbrel, their closer.
And a reminder, come out and watch our Sox off-field talents in this fun variety show to benefit Chicago White Sox charities. Wild Pitches, presented by Magellan Corporation, will include performances by Paul Konerko, Gordon Beckham, Chris Sale, stand-up comedy from Chicago's own Pat McGann, and many more. So join us July 25th at the Bridgeport Arts Center. Visit WhiteSoxCharities.org or call 312-674-1000. And that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Well, you get to see players doing something that you wouldn't have envisioned them doing. Showing you some skits, showing you some musical talents you might not have known that they had. And it should be a whale of a time.
Makes his own hop guns. He's got a hose too. So a 1-2-3 inning. That's 7 in a row retired since he got that 3-run lead.
The 8th inning, and Nate Jones comes in. Jones at 3-4, the ERA 4.34, on for the 41st time. He's allowed a couple of home runs. Right-handers have hit him better than the left-handers. Left-handers just 206, which is odd for a guy with as good a slider as Nate has. And he has to keep the deficit at 3. Tardaslovich. Joy
Turdoslavich, an outfielder playing first base, and boys throwing some leather over there.
And he's a switch hitter who can play multiple positions. So a very valuable man.
24 years old. Going to have to change that little approach right there, though. He went out deep to center field, then he had a little soft single in the left field. Gets out there very quick. Not to say he can't hit like that, but it's going to be a little tougher. I'm seeing a soft approach into the pitch. But he's young, he'll learn, and Greg Walker will help him. Two and one to count.
David Percy throwing in the pen.
Here you go.
I don't think Joey's seen a whole lot of 99.
No, when you get out there that quick on a 99er,
not much you can do.
Woo, it's awful tough. Awful tough. So here's Constanza. He's 0 for 3. Outfield short, swung around to the left, gap out there in right center. A lot of room between Wells and the right field foul line. Pretty good pitch. Didn't get it, a little low. 2-0. Soft comebacker. And you can support the Dominick's and White Sox Wives Food Drive tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Fans can donate non-perishable food items or make monetary contributions at U.S. Cellular Field when our Sox take on these Braves. So Dominick's and White Sox Wives Food Drive to benefit the Greater Chicago Food Depository. That's tomorrow. Reed Johnson. Reed's 0 for 3. Takes ball 1. And tomorrow, it'll be Jake Peavy on the bump. The Jake Meister against Paul Mahalam. That'll be a 3:05 start, and that game will be over Fox. One and one to count. Then on Sunday, in the finale of this 3-game set, Jose Quintana has been pitching very well against Mike Minor, who's a left-hander.
And Minor's been pitching very well. 9-4 this year.
3:02. There's a strike.
Nothing wrong with his Braves staff. Had a 6-game lead coming into tonight.
They got a 3.29 team. ERA.
Yeah. They got a great place to pitch, and they've got some pretty good pitchers.
Well, you mentioned earlier, he gone. 1, 2, 3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 5-7-0 for them. 2-7-0 for us.
brought to you by Miller Lite. And it's the 11th pitch of an 11th pitch at bat. Ryan McCann takes one out of the ballpark. Turns out to be the difference in the ball game to this point. His 13th of the year. He's driven in 35, and that is the Miller moment. We got a new first baseman. Their everyday all-star first baseman, Freddie Freeman, comes into the game.
Let's get something going, boys. We got 6 outs left.
Braves bullpen up and going, just in case.
Well, you mentioned earlier, they're especially late in the innings. They got more or less a lockdown bullpen out there.
Well, they get a young left-hander by the name of Avalon, who's been giving up nothing. And there he is. Speaking of the young left-hander, the appeal to Alan Porter, and he says, nope, didn't swing. Avalon's ERA is 1.40, and he's appeared in 43 games. So he's taken the place of Eric O'Flaherty.
He's thrown 83 pitches. He is usually very efficient with his pitch count. Well, see, you mentioned it earlier, those sinker ballers, when they come right out of the gate with a good sinker, throwing ground balls like you did first.
You normally have problems.
Yeah, and that's what we've had.
Yep.
We've had problems.
Got to him a bit in the third. Has Troncoso and Axelrod getting a little work. Troncoso perhaps to come into it. Dillon just getting some throwing in.
Takes it up, fouls it off. Got in on him. Just yanks it foul. First of 3 with these guys. First of 10 on his homestand. 3 with Atlanta, 4 with Detroit, and 3 with Kansas City. So hopefully we can get something turned around. But tonight, just being handcuffed by a very good pitcher. He did not go.
Hudson has moved the ball all around, trying to do whatever he can to retire Diaza.
Up high. And that's foul. He's right up there at the top of the list in this league as far as hurting himself at bat.
He's the best I've ever seen at it. I can't remember anybody who hit himself more on pitches down and in.
And he has a leadoff walk. Yes. Second base on balls issued by Hudson, and that'll bring up Alexei. Alexei 2 for 3 tonight with a run scored. Breaking ball strike. Kansas City shutting out the Tigers 1-0, bottom of the 7th at Kauffman Stadium. Cleveland shutting out Minnesota 2-0, bottom of the 6th at Target Field. As there he goes, and he is safe. So he picks up his 11th stolen base in 15 attempts.
Even though Hudson has a good move to first, he's a little slow using the high leg kick. Ryan McCann does not have the greatest arm around, and this ball almost gets away. But a runner in scoring position and nobody out. Huglet tries to knock it down to keep it out of center field.
The 0-2 pitch. Right back underneath Steve. Minnesota's just out of Cleveland, hitting in the bottom of the 6th at 2. Toronto was leading Tampa Bay. It is now 8-4 Tampa Bay up in Canada. Bottom of the 7th in Arlington. Baltimore leading Texas 3-1. What do you think is going to happen with that Texas ball club?
They're going to make at least one, probably two deals. I know they seem to be the front runner for Matt Garza. They need somebody in their starting rotation. They could use perhaps another hitter, although that's one of their strong points.
There's a shot. He just hit a little short arm on him right there. As here's the throw in the second, not in time, and we got something going. It's a 5-3 game.
RBI number 22, third hit of the night for Alexei. And when Constanza falls down, Alexei Kos in the second. Tries to get that sinker inside. He's been trying to do that all night with no success against Ramirez. He tries to go in there again. And I guess the question for Freddie Gonzalez is, how long do you stay with Hudson in now a 2-run game?
And here's Casper Wells hitting in Rio's spot. Casper came on back in the 7th inning. Outfield straight up, spread out. That spinner off the end of the bat.
25 doubles for Ramirez this year. Pretty hefty total. So as the home runs have decreased, the doubles have increased, and the batting average increased a whole lot.
Took that pitch nicely. Attaboy, Casper. Breaking ball. A curve, a good one, and the count 1-2. Done on deck. Tried to sneak that one by him at 91, so he's still pumping.
And the bullpen. Walden, the right-hander, you might remember him from his days with the Angels. of Avalon, the left-hander. They have now become the 2 setup man in place of Venters and O'Flaherty.
Once again, a 1-2. Made a good pitch on him with a breaking ball.
He's got a cutter and a slider. He just gets a little more depth with the slider. And that ball started outside and continued there. And Freddie is saying, good job. He's going to go to the pen against Adam Dunn. And most likely it's going to be Avalon. So Hudson walks off. Avalon comes in. We'll step out and be back after these messages. .40 on for the 44th time. Left-hander's hitting just .127, and that's how he will look in at Adam Dunn.
One out. Alexei, that's second.
Well, this will be put to the test. Avalon's only allowed 1 home run out of the 292 batters he's faced in his career. And it is a very lively night at the ballpark.
There's a strike.
Adam has hit 4 home runs against lefties this year, but hitting just .179 against them.
Right here, Biggin. Outfield there deep, spread out, straight up. Flips a curveball up there and grabs a strike.
After seeing a steady diet of fastballs, this looks almost unhittable. Freezes at him and drops right over the middle of the plate.
Down ball, gets through. Backhanded nicely, the peg. Watch out. And you look at the play by Freeman.
Well, Freddie Freeman's an all-star for just this reason.
Wow.
Adam runs him over. A collision at first. Adam tried to avoid him, but that throw, which was a brilliant throw by Ugla, put Freddie Freeman in harm's way. He's got a smile on his face because he was run over by a giant, and live to tell about it, but as impressive as anything was the throw he got off to the plate after he was knocked down.
Yeah.
Watch it again. This is unbelievable. Uggla makes a terrific play. But Freeman, on the pick, finds himself in Adams' way, who hops right over his back and knocks him down. And Freeman, with the presence of mind, knowing there was a runner at third, gets up, gets the ball to McCann, and freezes Ramirez at third base. What an effort on both ends.
Both ends is right. Well put. That is absolutely.
That is a gem. And so Avalon will leave. We'll step out and be back after these messages. Jordan Walden. Walden, 3-1, ERA 2.35, 35 strikeouts and 30 2/3. He's out of the Angels organization, and he can rush it up there.
First couple of times we saw him, he was really impressive.
Well, he had that herky-jerky motion. And he saved 32 games for the Angels after he replaced Fernando Rodney. So there's no doubt he's used to the late inning pressure.
Kevinger's never seen him before, and he's got an 0-2 count. Yeah, that was a couple of big men colliding down there. Freeman, 6'5", 230. Adam is 6'6", 260.
He ran right up his back.
Yeah.
And then kneed him in the kidney.
Pokes that into right field. That's going to fall for an RBI single. And it's a 5-4 ball game. Nice going. Yep.
Takes that fastball, a pretty good pitch away, and drives in a big run.
So here is Gillespie. 5-7-0 for the Braves, 4-9-0 for our Sox. Outfield and a no double set. Deep, straight up, and spread out. Got that little hesitation, a little stutter step. First and third in. Connor. Tank on deck. Good rip. Attaboy. Good rip.
Walden has a most unusual motion. He hesitates there, and he actually is off the ground with both feet in the middle of that motion. Really never seen that, but you'll see it from him.
I've never seen it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Both feet off the ground during the course of the motion.
Never seen it. And that's going to be a souvenir left side. 25,613.
We'll take a look again, and you'll notice in this motion as he delivers the baseball, watch his back foot. It comes up in the air just ever so slightly before his front foot falls.
Checks it up. He did not go.
So now the big advantage is Keppinger will be running.
Yeah, as deep as they're playing, it's going to be tough for him as much as they're spread out to score on a tweener. And that's why they're playing that deep. Spread out. There he goes. Pulled a string on him and struck him out. But we come up with a pair. We'll go to the ninth in a one-run ball game. Seven hits, no errors for the Braves. 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors for our Sox. It'll be Justin Upton, Brian McCann, and Evan Gattis.
And essential with Kimbrel waiting in the wings to hold him right there at a 1-run lead.
Slider strike. Upton's 1 for 3, a single and a run scored. That one in 98 upstairs.
Upton has been a little tardy as you look at Craig Kimbrel. A very hard throwing closer.
Slider missed. And that evens.
Lindstrom and Percy loosening in the pen just in case.
Out in front of that one at 98, chops it foul. Again, a reminder, make your plans to be with us tomorrow. Jake Peavy against Paul Mahalam, southpaw. That'll be a 3:05 start. If you can't make it, it'll be over Fox. Good piece of woodwork right there. That ball was low and away. He just reached out and poked it into center field for the leadoff single.
Well, there's never been any doubt that Justin Upton has as much talent as anybody around. First pick in the draft by the Diamondbacks. First player chosen in the country. And Robin coming out with McCann coming up. Nate Jones has done his job, so as he trots out, we'll step out and be back after these messages. David Percy.
Your #1 mobile app for live baseball. It's available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. AtBat delivers White Sox baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, breaking news, and video highlights. MLB TV. Premium subscribers can get AtBat premium features for free. And watch live games. So download now. 31826. AtBat. 31826.
Our Honda call to the pen is David Percy. He inherits Upton at first base. Percy 0-1, ERA an even 6 on for the 5th time.
McCann, the big blow in the ball game, that 3-run homer in the 6th inning. 2 out. It was the 12th pitch at bat. 12th one he got. To know the count.
It's all right-handed after McCann. Gaddis, Ugla, Johnson, and Simmons.
Three and 0. Come back and get it. We don't need a walk here. Turns him loose. High, towering into right field. Playable for Casper. He just missed it.
Well, you got to love the aggressiveness of Freddie Gonzalez.
Well, you know, I love it. That's real offense. I love it. He got a 32nd of an inch, and it's a 7-4 ball.
He got the fastball he wanted. Just got under it. So Robin will say nice job and go to the pen again. So we'll step out and be back after these messages. Man out for the 47th time, a 2-3 record, a fine 2.87 ERA. Right-handers have done very little with him. It's been the left-handers that have hurt him. Got Upton at first and one out here in the top of the 9th inning with a 1-run deficit. Got to keep your eye on Upton. 6 stolen bases in 7 attempts.
So here's first pitch to Gaddis. Taken for a strike. That is 96. Gaddis a single, struck out, and grounded to short. Outfield straight up about equidistant, spread out a little bit, and a breaking ball high.
Matt got away with one. This is a hanging slider, but fortunately for him, it hung too far inside.
Softly hit. So 2 down. And that'll bring up Dan Uggla.
That last fastball way in the Gaddis kitchen. He could do absolutely nothing with it.
Uggla has faced Matt 4 times, has 2 hits. Took that pitch nicely. University of Memphis, where he was an All-American. Now he's got the catbird seat. Chris Johnson on deck. Uggla still the Marlins all-time home run leader with 154.
I don't know how much longer they're going to be able to hang out to Giancarlo Stanton, but he will fly by that during the course of his career, because that young man is phenomenally talented.
The first, second baseman in Major League Baseball history with 530 homer seasons. And he's got a 3-1 count. So advantage back to Uggla. High. Trying to come back.
Didn't miss by much.
No, it did not.
The wind, pretty much of a factor. Almost blew that ball back into play, as Hunter Wendell said. Has a word with Jeff Keppinger. Didn't give up on it. He went about as far as he could go.
So 2 out and a full count. Way outside. So that is the first walk issued by Sox pitching tonight. Begley telling everybody there's 2 on, 2 out. Go through his sequence. And Chris Johnson 2 for 3 with a run scored. Goes through that one. Atlanta with a chance to move 7 games in front of Washington, as the Nats lost to the Dodgers 3-2. Plays off the breaking ball to even the count at 1.
Outfield not overly deep for Johnson, who does have a little pop. Things that's scary about this performance so far is every slider that Matt has thrown is hung inside.
Yeah, he cannot get it over.
And he's gotten very lucky because it's hung either too high or too far inside for the hitters to take advantage of it.
Helps him out right there. Big time. Take him right here. Don't want to go full. That fastball at 96. Top of the 9th in Kansas City. Kansas City still shutting out Detroit 1-0. Just did get a piece of that breaking ball.
That was a better slider than the previous 3. And Johnson was able to fight it off. See a little break on that one. It was in the zone and down.
And once again the 2-2. And there's a base hit in the right field. Jasper can throw. Here it is. Not in time. Upton scores. And it's a 6-4 ball game.
RBI number 32. and a big insurance run. Is that fastball up and out over the plate, and even though it's 97, Chris Johnson able to take it through the right side, and Upton seems to be coasting along. Scores easily. Paul Janisch comes on a pinch run.
And here's Simmons. He's 1 for 3, had a 2-run homer off the foul pole in left field. So the walk has hurt. High pop up. But they're going to put one on the board. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. It'll be the lower third of our order. Viciedo, Beckham, and Fick.
Presented by GMC. On the show, Jonathan Taves spends his day with Lord Stanley, and also special story of a kickball celebration honoring the life of a boy named Danny. Catch all that and more on Sportsnet Central tonight after postgame live only on Comcast Sportsnet. So Paul Janisch stays in the game at third base, and that brings on one of the best closers in the game, Craig Kimbrell. Out for a 37th time. He's looking for his 27th save in 30 appearances, 30 opportunities, 54 strikeouts in 35 1/3 innings. He is a hard-throwing right-hander who is used to saving games in the 40s the last 2 years, 46 and 42 saves. Last year, 3-1 with a 1.01 ERA in 63 games. He didn't get hit much.
Not a big guy, 5'11", 205, 25 years old. And that pitch at 96. Looks like a scene when he sets out of The Karate Kid.
It looks like he's going to fly at you.
Yeah.
He keeps getting under that fastball, though. He's going to have trouble with the strike zone.
Tank is 0 for 2 with a walk. Yeah, this guy can get the job done. 42 last year, 46 the year before. And there's a strike. Start us off right here. Tank Outfield around to the right.
That one took the mask right off Jerry Lane.
Jerry's had a very fine game behind the plate. No moaning and arguing.
Right now, he's the only one moaning.
Yep.
Because that doesn't feel too good.
No. No shots to the face like that. Hit. Don't feel too good.
Well, years and years ago, I started as a catcher. I took a few of those, some off the point of the shoulder. Guys running into me on play throws from the outfield, and decided there has to be a better way than this.
2-2. That one at 98. One out. So here's Beckham. Gordon, 1 for 3. Was robbed of another hit on a fine play by Simmons at shortstop.
It's a most unusual approach to pitching.
You don't have to adhere to convention.
No. It's been a lot of unusual setups.
I'll tell you, if you walk around Cooperstown and you see pictures of all the guys there, and pitchers, hitters, they come in all sizes and shapes and all kinds of funny looking swings, all kind of funny looking windups and deliveries. And most of them, if you didn't know who they were and you saw them in person or saw video of them, you'd say, that guy can't hit. That guy can't pitch.
Well, right now, Kimbrel looks like he's on the verge of facing the tying run.
There's one. Gordon hitting at .335 as he stands up to that dish. Goes through that one at 97. So a full count.
Front foot slipped out.
Slices that one. Just getting home. They scored 2 in the third. We scored 2 in the third. They scored 3 in the sixth. We scored 2 in the eighth. They scored 1 in the ninth. 6-4. Braves on top in the first of this 3-game set. Gets jammed a little bit. Slices that one. Pushes it into the seats for a souvenir. We'll have 3 with these guys, 3 with Detroit, and finish off this homestand with 3 with Kansas City. Fouls up and straight back.
That wind now is really howling, and it's howling straight out. Get one up in the air, and it's going to go. But getting one up in the air is a good trick against Kimbrel.
Got him. Good pitch.
That had the outside corner. Gordon just was frozen by a pinpoint perfect fastball. Yep. 97, split the outside part of the plate.
Grab some bench.
Yep.
That's all you can do. Tip your cap. You had a couple of good pitches in that sequence to hit.
Didn't get it.
And
so now we're going to see a pinch hitter, and it's Blake to Cody.
So Blake hitting for Fegley. Outfield swings around to the left. And he takes ball 1. Blake's seen Kimball one time. He's 0 for 1, so that evens accounted 1. A ball, a strike, 2 out here in the bottom of the 9th and a 6-4 Atlanta lead. Checks it up.
Pretty good pitch and didn't get it. Blake got the benefit of the doubt. This is a hard-breaking slider. And even though it was caught low, it came over the plate a strike.
So he falls behind in the count here, 3-1. Diaz on deck. Alejandro is 1 for 3 with 12 homers.
That one right off of McCann. And that one hurt him. And as banged up as this club is, they can ill afford to lose him.
Cannot lose him.
Was right off the right foot. That pitch was borderline. Blake went after it.
So a full count. Ball 4 base hit right here. And there's ball 4. So the third walk issued by Atlanta pitching, and here comes Alejandro. He is grounded out to first, struck out, had a bunt single, a beautiful bunt single. That was back in the 5th inning. Then he walked and stole second last inning and scored.
He has a second on the team in home runs with those 12.
Gets jammed and flips it into the seats for a souvenir. And it's like we talked about the other day. If you told us that on July 19th that he was going to be second on the team in home runs and up there in RBIs, we'd have said we're probably going to be in trouble.
I would think that would have been a tip-off, yes, especially when you consider the guys he's leading.
High and wide at 96. Touch him up right here. Let's get this thing tied up right now. One swing, short and quick. So Kimbrel having trouble throwing strikes. Falling behind everybody. Meanwhile, he struck out the first 2.
And our hottest hitter tonight, Lexi Ramirez, in the on-deck circle.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out.
Freddie Gonzalez just waiting for his ball club to get healthy. When they are entirely healthy, including that bullpen, they are a formidable bunch.
Well, it's his 3rd year here, and as we mentioned earlier, he has the best winning percentage in the National League for the time he has been in an Atlanta uniform managing this ball club. He gone, he knew it, and this ball game is over. So he strikes out the side. And Steve, just a couple of home runs from Danks off the bat, and except for that, he pitched well.
I thought he pitched well, but he's had some problems giving up the long ball, and his Brave team is very good, so try to get him tomorrow.
All right, let's check out our GMC player of the game. It is Alexei Ramirez. Alexei 3 for 4 tonight, 2 singles, a double, a couple runs scored, an RBI. Our GMC player of the game. So for my partner Steve Stone, our director tonight Todd Benjaminson, our producer Mike Leary, our associate producer Dave Ross, our technical manager Mark Harper, the executive producer Jim Corno Jr. Also for the mayor, Mean Joe Groove, and Mike Mayer, Frank D'Amato, Paul Carey, Doug Bullard down in sound. This is the Hawks. So long, everybody. Coming up next, the Orland Park Nissan postgame show with Chuck and Bill. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.